chaotic, and it has changed my life. I'm a fan of his ever since. I love this collection. Thousands most legendary supermodels and more. The four queens of the runway. Fashion, New York Fashion Week is right around the corner. Librarian tonight, and that's because I came to read a bitch. Jaja's Atelier, bitch.
It is. I love going in the store and looking at them and buying. It was like books. Same thing. Love buying books. And then I bring them home and go right to the television.
This is Tyson's Reel. Impressions?
Impressions. Oh, that's with my band. I had I was a manager of a band in the Caribbean. The game's not over. You know what I mean? You gotta keep your foot in the clutch.
How do you see the film ending?
I know how to do it. With me trying to show off what Gucci thing that I don't have the energy for.
A girl from Brooklyn who changed the fashion industry. Wow.
I think I might go.
Welcome back to another episode of Jaja's Atelier. The weeks are going by really, really quick. I can't believe it's already the week of Thanksgiving. Now, I usually film on Saturdays or Sundays, but I decided to do it on Monday, which is today, because it was just a whole lot going on in the news and I wanted to make sure I had all my facts. Not only that, like I said, it's about to be Thanksgiving. I'm having Thanksgiving with my sister and my brother and my nieces, and we're just going to have a good time. After the kids go to bed, we're going to do a little and we're going to have a good time. Plenty of food, so I had to go shopping for that. I don't see a whole lot of people out this Thanksgiving. What the fuck is going on? Anyway, I started the show with a clip of me in my upcoming vlog that's coming to you guys soon, of me finally getting a chance to watch the Beth Ann Hardison documentary entitled Invisible Beauty. If you guys haven't gotten a chance to watch it, if you want to relive the history of Beth Ann Hardison, she is a fashion revolutionary. I believe one of the only women to own her own modeling agency that, from watching the documentary, she just ran it like a college dorm, and she was the den mother to so many icons of today. I never knew that she discovered Tyson Beckford, who was the first black man to model for Ralph Lauren, Naomi Campbell. It's just an amazing, inspiring piece of film. And all of my fashion girls and boys, if you love fashion and it's a career you're pursuing like me, this is definitely a film that you need to watch. It's definitely, if you don't know who Beth Ann Hardison is, she's definitely somebody you need to know, especially if you're a person of color trying to break into the fashion world, because if it wasn't for her, we probably wouldn't have people like, Olivier Rousteing and Maximilian Davis. I mean, she really brought the joie de vivre, if you like to say, and color to fashion. So please make sure you check that out. I rented it on YouTube because I don't have Apple TV, which I think is what it premiered on, but you could buy it on YouTube, and it's only $6.99. It's $16.99 if you want to buy it and keep it in your files for later, which I think I'm going to go back and do because I watched it twice. You only have 48 hours, and honey, I cried, I laughed, I reminisced. It was just, please make sure you go check it out. Speaking of fashion movies, so there have been rumblings of an Alexander McQueen biopic in the works for years. The rumors have been swirling. Allegedly, according to Dazed Fashion magazine, the film would star Jack O'Connell, who I'm not very familiar with. And even though there was a great documentary in 2018, a lot of McQueen fans are still longing for a closer look into his life. What do I think about this? I think it's definitely a story that needs to be told. I think that we want to know. There was a mystique to me around Alexander McQueen. You didn't really know too much about him until like the documentary came out. But there's things in his personal life that I would love to know just because I'm nosy like that and I'm a fashion geek. But yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think you should I definitely would want the family involved. And I want it to be told. If you're going to tell the story of Alexander McQueen, don't leave anything out. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I don't think we should leave anything out. Um, According to Day's Fashion, which I stumbled across the article and I was like, really? And with all these, new films that we've been hearing about, the reinterpretation of The Color Purple is getting ready to come out. I can't wait to see that. So I think it could be a possibility, but it's just so hard to tell. Now the film is being held or potentially being filmed through Pass, which is, I guess, a film company. I've never really heard of them, but yeah, so we'll definitely see about that. Okay, so on to something that you guys know I'm obsessed with. Obsessed. The Metropolitan Museum of Art has announced its theme for, this year's Met Gala, and the theme is Sleeping Beauties, Reawakening Fashion. Now, when I first heard it, I was like, oh my God, here we go again with these unidentifiable titles. Like, I can't even with them. But upon, reading a couple articles from Vogue and other fashion outlets, I came to two conclusions on what celebrities might be wearing at the Met Gala this year. You could either take it one or two ways. Reawakening fashion, sleeping beauties. Now, we could either go the princess route with dresses like, this dress, Gwyneth Paltrow in the late or early, I think it's the like 97, 96-ish era. We could take it the princess gown route. Okay. Some of, the world's greatest designers and fashion houses putting together these amazing princess ball gowns that all the ladies will be wearing, like this one of Gwyneth Paltrow at the Oscars. Or we could think of it in an entirely different way. And the way that I'm about to explain to you is what I would like to see. The more of the reawakening fashion side. I read the article on Vogue. I can't remember who wrote it, but the immediately out of their mouth in the first sentence of the interview was, think Kim Kardashian wearing Marilyn Monroe's original happy birthday dress to John F. K. And so that, excuse me, I have a whole lot going on in the background. So that led me to like, okay, so if that's what we mean by reawakening fashion, I would love to see Beyonce return to the Met Gala in something from one of Diana Ross's most iconic looks from her archive. I would love to see, Lady Gaga maybe in a look from Grace Kelly's archive. That's what I'm thinking that this year's Met Gala is going to be. I wrote an article about it on my Instagram and I named all these things, but I'm also thinking, we're going to be seeing a lot of reinterpretations and a lot of replicas. I would love to see Janelle Monáe reach into Grace Jones' archive and pull something just out of this world and give it just a whole nother life. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I live for. I live for the nostalgia. I'm a nostalgia whore. So I'm really hoping that this is the way that they go with it. I really don't want to see a whole bunch of bitches in puffy ball gowns. That's going to be a little random. I really think that they're going to go the opposite way. I would also, love to see a replica of Princess Diana's wedding dress when she married Prince Charles in the 80s. I would love to see like stuff like that, like reinterpreting the most historic gowns in fashion of all time. Like, that's what I would love to see. And even if we could get some of the fashion girls, the fashion it girls, to pull the actual looks, I think that would be amazing. Again, Kim did it with Marilyn Monroe's original dress. She actually wore a couple of her dresses that she didn't get to wear on the red carpet. You could see on her show on the Kardashians on Hulu last season, I believe it was, she was taking pictures with Marilyn's Golden Globe and just pulling all the looks out the archive. The only problem with that is I remember the backlash that she got for doing it because the dress was so old and so fragile. It was given to her by Ripley's Believe It or Not, who had acquired the dress through an auction. So that would be the only thing, but I'm sure like wear it up the steps on the red carpet, take a few pictures in it, and then take it off and put on something else. I'm all for pulling museum pieces if they're handled with respect and care. That's the thing. If you're gonna pull, from historic archives, you have to have a whole team, white gloves, don't touch the dress, just the typical, like, you just have to be very careful with these archive pieces. And I think that was everybody's gripe when Kim did it. But I think she handled everything with so much respect and care. A lot of people said the dress was ripped and it was ruined, but that is the furthest from the truth. I think the worst that happened was I think a couple of stones fell off, which is natural. The dress is over 70 years old, So that's what I hope we see this year at the Met Gala. I want to try to make my own Met Gala look this year. I say I'm going to do it every year, and then I try, and then I just scrap the whole fucking idea last minute. But this year, I really want to dedicate some time from probably about December to the actual Met Gala to just think about what historic gown in history do I want to recreate and really just stay focused on it, because I have ADHD. My mind goes everywhere, and child, I'll fuck around and forget. Anyway, so what else do we have? Oh, we're gonna get a little messy. Okay, so this story has been going on for fucking weeks now. Tamar Braxton, you knew better than to invite that girl to your concert. Now, I don't know. Okay, so last week, Tamar Braxton is on the Love and War tour, I think it's called. Let me tell you something about Tamar. Tamar is one of the greatest vocalists. The girl can sing her motherfucking ass off. Okay. With that being said, at her show in LA, she decided to invite... I wish I had a martini to talk about this story, but I don't. She decided to invite and to bring on stage Zeus's very own Chrisean Rock. Why people invite her to places and then are shocked by the toxic outcome, I will forever be confused by this. It's a whole lot of people on her side on the internet saying, oh, Tamar just brought her out for clout. She just brought her out to make a fool out of her. Well, it's not hard to make a fool out of her. She is, and excuse me for saying this, but listen, look, I can only judge the fruit from the tree it comes off of. And honey, she is 2 chromosomes away from being an actual fucking human being. Are you fucking kidding me? Everywhere she goes, she's drunk, she's sloppy, and all of you in the media that are like, oh, but she just had a baby, and she's a single mom. She's a beast. She's a fucking beast, and she's an embarrassment. And I am so tired of this whole, with us in the black community, it's like if they're on TV and they got money, we can't hold them accountable. Fuck that. They need to put that girl away somewhere. And God, for crying out loud, take that damn baby from her and give it to somebody who will really love it and take care of it. For crying fucking out loud. She drags the 2-month-old baby everywhere she goes. The baby's spine is damn near broke. She carries the baby wrong. Why isn't nobody helping this girl? Where is her PR team? Like, she gets online and she brags about all this money she has. Where is your PR team? Anyway, so she's at the concert with Tamar. There was a video circulating online. Tamar's sister, the iconic Toni Braxton, was in the house to do a little duet with Tamar. And there's video of them backstage, and Chrisean is in the room, and Toni is looking at her like, girl, get her away from me. Like, please get her away from me. Like, ugh. Well, there was a bit of a mix-up. Chrisean thought that she was supposed to perform. She allegedly missed her cue. Of course, she got upset. One of Tamar's members of Tamar's team, I don't know if you remember him, his name is James Wright. He was the one that did the Patty for the Patty pies. Remember when Patty LaBelle came out with those? I don't know what she put in those pies, but they are fucking good. Okay, put it in a microwave for 30 seconds. Anyway, let me not get off on my cockamamie tangent. So, they say that they were all in the room. Tamar, James, and Tamar's tour manager was in the room. You know, Chrisean was allegedly crying and out of control. What else is fucking new? And allegedly, Tamar's team has come out and said that she assaulted James Wright to the point where he doesn't want to show his face. He claims his face is busted up. But here's what I will say in defense of Chrisean. Y'all know that girl is a hot-ass mess. Every time we see her in public, this is what you get. So why on earth? She's not even... The audience that Tamar caters to is not looking to see a Chrisean rock. So the point of you even having her there, you know, Maya Angelou said, when somebody shows you who they are the first time, believe them. This girl has shown her ass over and over and over and over and over again. And I hate the way she totes that goddamn baby around. Find a fucking nanny, girl. Like, what is your problem? Anyway, you know, I don't really like the back and forth with Tamar's team. Tamar got on the internet, then the road manager got on the internet, then James got on the internet like this. He didn't want to show his face. And then, you know, now on the internet, if you don't show it, it didn't fucking happen. That's just the world we live in. So if you are going to allege and accuse this girl of putting her hands on you, which if I had to judge by her behavior, I would say that it probably did happen, in my personal opinion, allegedly. You know, look at how she acts. Why would you even have her at your show? It's not a rap concert. It's an R&B concert. Like, give me a fucking break, Tamar and team. You guys knew what you were doing when you invited her to that show. She wasn't going to behave herself. She's an animal. And listen, you guys might get offended at me saying that, but we need to get to a point where we stop glorifying the bullshit. She is a pile of bullshit. There is no reason. She can't rap. She has no talent that we really know of. Like, why is this girl on TV? Oh, because she makes a fool out of herself. And everybody gets a kick out of her making a fool out of herself. Whole time, she's a whole fucking embarrassment to herself and her family and everybody that she's around and everybody that she comes in contact with. It's always a problem. So Tamar, I'm sorry. Judge and jury, you're the one that's guilty because you shouldn't have had her at your show. Point blank fucking period. Especially, listen, your sister Toni is a fucking icon. I wouldn't have had that girl nowhere near Toni Braxton. It was no reason for her to be anywhere near you or your sister. Now, you look like an idiot. At first, I was really gonna go in on Chrisean, but that's just who she is. She makes her money acting like a complete buffoon. So why would you have a buffoon at such a classy... You know, when I think of Tamar is dramatic. Tamar gets into some stuff. But when it comes down to that music and when she's up on that stage performing, it is an experience. I remember her singing that song, My Man, at the BET Awards a couple years ago. That was the last good BET Awards, by the way. And she fucking nailed it. Her vocals were so good. Everybody thought she was lip singing. Why, Tamar? Y'all really need to stop having this girl at events. She does not need to be at award shows. She doesn't even need to be out in public until she sees a good therapist and spends a couple of nights in rehab, in my personal opinion. She's always drunk. She's always sloppy. She leaves her tooth at home. Like, she carries her baby around in her pocketbook. Like, what the fuck are we... Why is this girl on TV? Her and that wrangly ass, slack dick ass man that she had the baby with. Whatever his name is. Cut it the fuck out. Stop defending this trash. Anyway. So, last week, the GQ Men of the Year party was set ablaze by a couple of hot looks. Let's get into that. First, we have... Okay, this dress on this body, Meg the Stallion in Salah Balta? Salih Balta? I think that's how you pronounce it. I've never heard of this designer before, but this dress just looked like somebody just poured honey and chocolate all over her body. This dress was sick. I loved the messy updo. Her glam is always on point. Her body, I've been seeing the Instagram posts and the reels of her in the gym. Honey, her body is natural and it's fucking snatched. Do you understand me? Snatched! Yes. She is styled by... Okay, I didn't write down who she was styled by. Next we have Emma Chamberlain in this Acne Studios look. Okay, I really want to try this trend. The no pants trend. I'm really digging it with the tights underneath. I really thought this was cool. I loved her hair. I didn't even recognize her at first. When we were first introduced to her, she was like real girl next door. Like, I think she had like sandy brown hair, like real granola. And now she's just rocking out with her fucking cock out. I love this look. It was very edgy, very appropriate for the GQ Men of the Year party. I give it life. Hots. Why not? Panties outside of my tights. I'm not a thought. Then we have the beautiful Winnie Harlow in this. Honey, Winnie fucking nailed it in this. Now, she's not one of my favorite girls, but she's fast becoming one. I just saw her on the streets the day after this in this amazing Loire look. But this right here, this bomb on, honey, this bomb on ate. She ate. The hat, it's just giving regal black excellence. It's like, yes, bitch, I'm here. I know you're staring at me. The hats, the alligator patent leather. I'm living for this. Then, okay. We have my girl, Kim K, in another nostalgic Chrome Hearts look. I loved this brown with the honey blonde wig. She completely switched it up. I live for this look. I live for this look. I live for this look. It brought me back to like the early 2000s when I was like in middle school, and just the suede, just the way it just laid on her body. It wasn't too sexy, but it wasn't matronly either. I love the way it fit. 2 thumbs up for Kim, best dressed again. Yes, I'm biased. Fuck you. Okay, so for some fashion ridiculousness, before I get into something really, really heavy, and y'all know what I'm talking about. So Balenciaga has put on their website a towel skirt. Now the towel skirt is retailing, here's the skirt. The towel skirt is retailing at almost $1,000, $925 for a towel skirt. Now, this sparked a lot of debate with me and some of my fashion people that I talked to online. Somebody, one of them was like, "Oh, I can't wait to get this." I'm like, "Girl, what do you mean wait to get it? Go into your bathroom and go get it and make one." Like, and then it sparked this whole debate. Like, do people really buy this shit because they like it, or do they just buy it because it just makes them look rich? Because it really doesn't make you look rich. It makes you look foolish. Listen, I like Balenciaga. I love the House of Balenciaga. I love just Cristobal Balenciaga and his legacy. I also am a fan of Demna's, but with all the controversy, I have not really been paying attention to Balenciaga like that because I just don't want to catch no heat, with all that child stuff that they allegedly went through. But this is just ridiculous. And you know what's really sad? It's going to be a whole lot of us that actually go out and buy this and will use it to stunt on the next person while you have a bath sheet wrapped around your waist. I was watching Fox, TGIF on Fox Soul, and Claudia Jordan, I love fashion. I'm a fashion girl. I love everything about it, but I'm not going to go broke for it. And I'm not going to buy something just to stun on somebody. That's not what fashion is about. Fashion is not about going broke to make somebody else feel bad because of what you have on and they don't have it. Fashion is about expressing yourself through what you're wearing. It doesn't matter what it is. As long as you feel good in it and you feel confident and it makes you feel like that bitch, then that's what you wear. It's not how much it costs. Because a lot of y'all spend your last $300 on your food stamp card to go to the outlet and you still look a hot ass mess. So miss me with that. Okay. So I'm going to talk about it. Earlier this week, Cassie Ventura, aka Cassie, former girlfriend of Sean Combs, aka P. Diddy, aka Puff Daddy, aka Diddy, and also former artist of his record label Bad Boy. If you don't remember Cassie, she came out, I think, in like 2005, 2006 with her #1 hit, "It's Me and You Now. I've been waiting. Think I'm gonna make a move now. Tell me how you like it." Her. Well, Cassie and Diddy dated for over 10 years. There has been a lot of scuttlebutt about Diddy over the years, how he treats his artists, allegedly, harassing people, threats of physical violence, actual physical violence. All these things have been alleged through the years. I remember being a kid and hearing people talk about him, and it wouldn't be in the best light. Well, Cassie absolutely shocked the world this week when she filed a civil lawsuit towards him alleging rape, alleging physical violence, grooming, and a bunch of other things that nobody has been quite brave enough to come out and reveal in such an open way. She was suing him for $30 million, I believe. In the 35-page document, which is labeled as trigger warning, Cassie alleges that she was dating somebody when she first signed to Bad Boy Records. Her ex's name at that time was singer Ryan Leslie. And soon after being signed to Diddy, he kind of forced his way on her allegedly, and they ended up dating. Throughout the 10 years of their relationship, she alleges that there were several times when he beat her. She also alleges that he forced her to have sex with male prostitutes as he watched and masturbated and recorded it. This just sent the internet into a blaze. I wasn't shocked at the allegations. I was shocked because I would have never thought she would be the one to come out with it. We haven't really heard much from Cassie now. Of course, you guys know, if you know Cassie, you know that she's married now. I believe she has 2 children. She also alleged in the lawsuit that he got her addicted to several drugs, including cocaine and opiates and ecstasy. And then after this, like, it was like in the middle of the night, I couldn't go to sleep. I kept getting alerts. And to some people, it might not be a big deal, but P. Diddy is like, if you grew up, like, if you're in my age bracket, like, I'm gonna say like 28 to 35, hell, I'm gonna say 30 to 45. If you're in that age bracket, you grew up on Bad Boy. We grew up watching Making the Band. We grew up and witnessed that whole East Coast, West Coast, Biggie versus Tupac, him versus Suge Knight. It was a time to be alive and witness all that. It was history being made, but apparently, you know, from what the stories are about him that have come out recently, not only from Cassie, but also people like Jaguar Wright, also people like the mother of his son Justin, Misa Hilton, who hasn't come out of her face and actually said anything, but she's alluded to some things. Also, Kimora Lee Simmons has alluded to some things, allegedly. I just never thought in a million years that it'd be Cassie, because she's been very quiet. Like, you see her on Instagram with her husband and her kids, and that's really all you hear from her ever since she broke away from him. And even when they were together, you wouldn't really hear a whole lot from her. You would see her, but she would never talk. She never really looked happy with him. And a lot of the stuff that she's alleging, and of course people were going to come to his defense. He's a rich, seemingly heterosexual black man who has made history in hip-hop. Of course, a lot of people are going to come to his defense without even listening to what or reading what the document said, which again was labeled as trigger warning. I read the entire document. It's for public consumption. And honey, Terry McMillan couldn't have made up that story. I don't believe she's lying. There's too many things that people have said about him in this light. In the document, she also claims that I think that the two of them had separated for a little while, and in between that time, she had started dating Kid Cudi. And Diddy found out about it allegedly and threatened to blow up Kid Cudi's car. And allegedly, he actually did have Kid Cudi's car blown up. A rep for Kid Cudi did come to Cassie's defense and say that did actually happen. Which, when I heard that, I was like, well, damn, did you really have something to do with the death of Biggie and Tupac? Because if you can blow up somebody's car for talking to a girl that you used to go with, that's like insane. Allegedly. I feel bad for her. I think she's really brave. The optics of it, though, Cassie, do look like a money grab. Now, as you guys all know, before I got a chance, and this is why I waited to film this episode, because I had a feeling that this was going to happen. She, like I said, she sued him for $30 million, and they settled. Within 24 hours, they settled. Which I'm thinking he paid her more than $33 million, in my personal opinion. And listen, if I didn't do anything and somebody accused me of something like that, I would not pay them off. Especially if I was the one with all the money and I was the one with all the power. I definitely wouldn't. Listen. And then we didn't really hear anything else about it after that. And I think we didn't hear much about it because we've heard so many stories about him. We've heard stories about his sexuality. We've seen awkward behavior in videos over the years. Now, all of these old interviews from artists that he used to hang out with, like Exhibit, and we see him on Drink Champs years ago with Fabulous and Jadakiss, and he's calling the men daddy, and he's just being really weird. We've seen a video of him and Cassie is like wrapped up in a blanket. Allegedly, it was Cassie wrapped up in a blanket, and he's like, "Yeah, what you gonna say now? Get up, let's take a walk on the beach." And her whole body is under the blanket. It's just weird, awkward behavior that we've seen from him, and we've heard stories from people like Aubrey O'Day, who was in Danity Kane, who has, honestly, Aubrey O'Day has been the most vocal. I would expect a lawsuit like this from her, but not from Cassie. This just came out of left field. What's my personal opinion about it? I think every dog has its day, and I think a lot of these mega moguls have skeletons in their closet. And I think we're in a day and time now where you can't hide anything. It doesn't matter if you did it 80 years ago, it will come back out. And this is why I try not to be messy online, and I try to just stay on the straight and narrow, because I will be famous one day. Not famous, but I will be successful in fashion one day. I'm claiming it. And I don't need nothing or nobody coming out of my woodwork claiming something or accusing me of something. So I keep my receipts, I keep all my messages, and I keep it cute. But for these guys, back when they were coming up, you know, the Diddies, the Russell Simmons, the Benzinos, they weren't thinking about the internet. They weren't thinking about that. Who would have thought that the internet would have been this huge thing? You know what I mean? Not only that, they were young, and you also have to think about where they come from, but that's not an excuse, Diddy, if you really did do these things to this girl. And another reason why I believe her is because if it was me, I would have sued for his whole estate. And it would have been, I would have asked for way more than $30 million. And I think if it was a money grab, I think it would have been way more than $30 million. What is $30 million to P. Diddy? It'll put a dent. $30 million definitely put a dent in his pocketbook, but he's not hurting. I don't think that's enough of a punishment if indeed he did these things. But what I don't want to see is everybody just like believing him and taking up for him and defending him. Even like I see so many people with R. Kelly, like, why are you still listening to R. Kelly? And out the other side of your mouth, you're talking about protect black women, when it's black women and black girls that R. Kelly was allegedly, you know, abusing. Do we still have to say allegedly for R. Kelly though? He is locked up. I saw the tape. But yeah, this shocked the shit out of me. Not what was in the lawsuit, but who filed it. And if it is a money grab, I still say she knows something about, she was with him for so long, she knows something about him that a lot of people don't, and that he don't want nobody to know. There's something about this man, and it's not his sexuality. It's got to be something deeper than that. There's something about him that a lot of people know that he does not want to get out. And I'm just wondering what it is. I don't think it's him being gay. I don't think it's that. Do I think that he's gay? I think that he dibbles and dabbles, in my personal opinion. I think a lot of men dibble and dabble and don't think twice about it, which that's nobody else's business, but those are some of the rumors that have been going around for years. But this, I was up all night reading that document. Like, I was like, just the stuff that she was saying and all that she went through. It's really sad. To anybody that plans on stepping into the entertainment world and stepping like in front of the camera, make sure your shit is tight. Make sure your shit is tight. Because it might take 10 years, it might take 30 years, it might take 40 years. But it's going to come out. It's going to come out. Anyway, guys, so you guys know it's Thanksgiving. I'm going out of town this weekend. So Jaja's Atelier will be back the weekend after this one. Probably the 1st of December. We'll be back. But I'm going to enjoy this macaroni and cheese. I'm making a jerk pork. My sister is making turkey and her famous string beans. We're going to have candied yams. No marshmallows because we don't do that. Oh, I just bit my tongue. And what else are we going to have? We're going to have baked ziti. I'm thinking about getting a couple of ribeyes. We're just going to have a good fucking time. I'm going to try to brave, since I'm going to be in the city, I'm going to try to brave the Black Friday shopping. I'm going to try it. I have not been out for Black Friday since I was like 25. I'm going to try to do it. But I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm going to warn y'all from now. If any of y'all step on my foot or get in my way, I'm shoving you. Okay? Also, I had a really interesting encounter this week. I was at the store minding my own business, and this woman came up to me, and I was just having a really rough day. Normally, I'm used to people coming up to me or walking by me and saying something slick because I'm transgender or whatever. But this lady really pissed me off. And she was just like, I don't understand. I have my kids in this store and you're not a real woman and there are kids in here and this is what the government is talking about. You guys just think you can just come in here and take over and you guys are trying to replace us as women. And I'm just so tired of it. And my kids are in here and I'm a real woman. I said, well, what makes you a real woman, honey? Do you know what this woman said to me? Because I have a pussy. And I can have babies. I said, well, dogs have pussies too, so what's the difference between you and that Cocker Spaniel you carrying in your purse? I want to leave you guys with this. To my ladies who, obviously, if you're watching me, you don't have a problem with trans people, but if you have a friend that talks about trans women in that way and uses her vagina as leverage, there is so much more to being a woman than having a vagina and being able to birth a child. Please stop saying that, ladies, because you're selling yourself short. Women are dynamic. Women are strong. Women are resilient. Women are patient. They're beautiful. They're graceful. Don't dumb it down to just having a pussy. Having a pussy makes you a female. Dogs have pussies. Cats have pussies. Cows have pussies. Giraffes have pussies. They're not women. So listen, while you're trying to shade me, you're really selling yourself short. Anyway, guys, I'm such a shady bitch. What's the difference between you and that Cocker Spaniel in your purse? And you know what? After I said it, you couldn't buy that bitch for a penny. And I hope she sees this. I'm not going to call your name out, Pooh. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. I know I am. Make sure you stay tuned because I have my vlog coming to you guys. I'm so excited. I haven't shot anything personal since starting, doing this talk show podcast type of a thing. So I'm excited to get back into that. I hope you guys have a safe holiday. Stay out of the mess. Don't fuck with nobody. Eat your food. And let me tell y'all something else. Don't waste your food. Leftovers, Ziploc them, put them in the freezer. Listen, ain't nobody got no money to be throwing no food away. As much as y'all like to pretend like y'all rich, if your motherfuckers is getting up and going to work in the morning, you ain't got no money. So we ain't got no time to be wasting no food. Put it in the freezer and eat it when you get ready. Anyway, God bless. Happy Thanksgiving. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Ciao.